Hello, yes, this is the Group 2 presentation of MGB 3684. Our team members are Ziqian Huang, Xiaodong Wang, Yan Chang, and me, Huacheng Huang Harris. The goal of this speech is to analyze the Nintendo's market environment. Six areas will be used during the exercise. The first one is pistol exercise. Ziqian Huang will discuss the details about it. The second part is Porter's five forces exercise, which is responsible for Xiaodong Wang. Last theory belongs to Yan Chang, which is key success factors. Let me give a simple introduction of the background. Nintendo is a Japanese company mainly engaged in the development of video game software and hardware, and a pioneer of the modern video game industry. Nintendo was founded on September the 23rd, 1889, and launched the first generation home game console, FC, in 1983. Let's start with the first theory.
Okay, let me quickly introduce what is PSTL analysis. PSTL analysis is a strategic framework used to evaluate macro business environment in which a firm operates. PSTL includes 6 factors, which are political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal factors. Okay, let me take the introduction of PSTL analysis for Nintendo. The Nintendo become the most massive electronic industry of the world. However, they are facing different challenges. Let me make an analysis for macro environment of Nintendo. Political factors become the first part of analysis. With the development of the game industry, game operation has become an indispensable part of the game industry, and Nintendo cannot avoid marketing. Take China as an example. China has made clear prohibitions on game promotion in newly advertising law. The new advertisement define the boundaries of game advertising and promotion, which plays an important role in promoting the healthy development of the game industry and the game operation industry. This policy also made some restriction on Nintendo Electronic Game Company. For economic factors, with the construction and development of Japan since 1990s, Japan has built a community of interests with overseas countries for economic integration and cultural inclusion to promote the progress of human entertainment culture. The implementation of this strategy has brought new opportunities for the overseas approach of Japan games. In particular, the most famous Nintendo games have gradually been recognized by foreign markets. In addition, the game development enterprises has now consciously incorporated some cross-national and cross-regional cultural elements into the games. That's helping Nintendo to develop overseas markets and bring new and more opportunities to the game operation enterprises. The game field has always been the focus of the capital market, especially the explosion of the mobile game market in recent years. Some large-scale game enterprises use the power of capital to conduct mergers and acquisitions on the game market in various links to realize integration of resources. Nintendo also saw the opportunities, but transformation was not easy. Nintendo gave up the mobile game market. Thirdly, social factors. Social factors with the rapid development of the game industry due to the increasing competition of the game industry in different countries and societies, the market opportunities of the game industry in different countries and societies, the market opportunities of the game industry are gradually expanding, and even some universities have withdrawn from the export major during the development of console games. This attracted users of different ages to reduce the prejudice against the game and improve the cognition of the game. Secondly, the game industry timely meets the cultural needs of the society. Nintendo is a rare phenomenon level game company in the game industry. Many of these games have far-reaching impact on driving the society to improve the cognition of the game industry. For example, Soldier, Super Mario are all the memories of all generations. Technological factors also become an important part in PSTL analysis. Nintendo pioneered 3D games not only led for a majority of games players, the game launched by Nintendo in 1990s were approach making works. On the other hand, As a game creator, Nintendo is innovative enough to know which game is real-life fiction or data. Nintendo is not afraid of no third-party software support. After all, Nintendo is an excellent software manufacturer and hardware manufacturer. No one supports each, and each can be self-sufficient. Finally, the rapid development of intelligent hardware also provided a basic condition for the innovation of the game industry. From game field, the update of integration of smartphones and table commitment of of VR and AR and other hardware has provided a new direction of Nintendo future development. Next one is environmental factors, including peer competition and the prospects of the electronic game industry. For Nintendo, the main direction of the current video game industry is more and more toward the mobile side rather than the console game, which has led to a profit decline of Nintendo year by year after the launch of Switch game machine. This has made Nintendo to start thinking about the future direction. There are three kinds of them, namely launch improved version of existing Switch model. Secondly, it can be launch new product that's compatible with Switch. The most important thing is to have Switch software and provide value-added service for the existing model. Lastly, for console games, there are relevant regulations in many countries, especially in China. The government has imposed many restrictions on both console games and mobile games, which has led to the failure of many overseas console games products to take root in China. Compared with other countries, console games are not so common. This is also a great challenge for Nintendo.
Now we will look at Nintendo through the lens of Porter 5 force analysis. First of all, the bargaining power of Nintendo suppliers is moderate. Nintendo suppliers has limited influence on Nintendo since it mainly develop its core technology and products by itself. Nintendo's vertical expansion into the development of gaming software also proved the bargaining power of other parts of this supply chains, such as the supplier of gaming software, is very limited. However, Nintendo still sometimes need to depend on other business, such as Dina, in order to access other technology or resource they need to succeed, such as the opportunity to operate on mobile device provided by Dina. The bargaining power of buyers at Nintendo is high. First of all, this is not disruption for customers if they decide to switch providers. In addition, Nintendo's competition has been rising over the years due to the emergency and rapid development of other companies. In this situation, Nintendo has to be very sensitive to buyers' needs and quickly adapt to their needs. Otherwise, they will switch to other brands and negatively affect Nintendo's revenue. The threat of substitute products for Nintendo is high. Nintendo face a significant challenge from potential alternative. Customers are able to access gaming products from many other brands such as Sony PlayStation, Microsoft Xbox, and so on. These substitute products cause intensive competition against Nintendo. The threat of new entrants is low for Nintendo's. Substantial financial investment are required in order to enter and develop the gaming industry. Besides, the companies that enter also need to equip themselves with advanced technology and unique service in order to effectively compete against the existing company in the industry. In addition, the existing companies in this industry has been paying more and more intention to protecting their intellectual properties, which further increase the difficult for new entrants. The level of rivalry in this industry is high. The degree of competitiveness in this sector is significant since the number of companies in this industry has been intensively competing against each other. For instance, in Nintendo's as well as its main rivals, Sony and Microsoft has been making great efforts to quickly gain ground, such as by building the large exclusive library of contents.
Now I want to introduce the key factors of Nintendo's success. The first is challenge of innovation. Nintendo has been awarded in poker, hotels, and other business throughout its 113 years history. It wasn't until 1970 that he decided to get involved in video games, and within a decade, he was the industry's dominant player. Nintendo doesn't shy away from risk. The company is willing to take any risk. As we always say, failure is a regular occurrence in life, but if rewarded, it can be huge. The second is adapt to market changes. In the early 1980s, Nintendo developed the first arcade game. The overcrowded market was only to the collapse of industry and the demise of most bad game companies. If the industry environment changes, you have only two choices: quit or try harder. Nintendo falls into the latter category. In 1983, Nintendo spotted a gap in the market and introduced the Nintendo Entertainment System. Within 4 years, it had a 65% market share. The third is a change of marketing strategies. A shift in marketing was one of the key factors in Nintendo's success. When the popularity of video games declined, instead of marketing its console as a video game, Nintendo marketed the NES as a toy. This shift Nintendo's target audience from teenagers to children, a marketing strategy that enables the company to succeed despite unfair market conditions. And the last thing is focus on quality. What sets Nintendo apart from its competitors is that it is about quality rather than quantity. With games like Super Mario Bros. And Donkey Kong being creative, quality and high quality. And next page. Now let's move on to Nintendo's strengths group. First is expansion strategies. Nintendo hopes to expand by investment more in video games and smart devices. In the video game division, Nintendo believes its software-driven integrate hard drives and the software business at the core of its operations are the best bet. Nintendo wants to turn its smart device business into a major source of revenue that will maximize the company's overall net profit. Second is venture capital strategies. Nintendo believes now is the perfect time to invest and collaborate with partners outside the video games and smart device business. Nintendo is expanding its entertainment business by working with partners, building these parks, making movies, and moving into merchandising. These projects will generate more revenue and reduce the opportunity for cyclical economic fluctuations. It will also make Nintendo IP available to another consumer base. And the third and the last is pricing strategies. Sony and Microsoft offers products like the Xbox and PlayStation that range in price from $349 to $499, but the Nintendo Switch sells for about $299. This pricing difference played a huge role in the shifting customers to Nintendo and away from competitors. Nintendo can achieve this low price through mass productions and innovations, which gives it an index over other brands. Okay, it is all my part. Now Harris will tell about the conclusions.
In conclusion, the business of making game software is very competitive. The only way to stay in business is to make popular games, which is similar to the survival law in Hollywood. Nintendo will do better in sticking to its current strategy of selling hardware and charging fees for third-party games. The steady and potential very large source of income lets Nintendo focus on its current mission while also working on the next big hit. Long term, Nintendo's growth depends on how well it can solve its own problems, and the problems it faces are all opportunities. Getting past these problems are turning them into opportunities will lead to more growth and development. Next page is the reference list. Thank you for listening.